All right, let's go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of CA Overwatch, CA Esports. It's going to be a little bit different than we normally do, obviously, with the... A little bit different with the COVID-19 going around. The Overwatch had a little bit of a hiatus. So in terms of breaking down the Toronto Defiant game versus the Washington Justice, which we were planning on doing today, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Obviously, we're going to online play, which is beneficial. And a new hero was just released, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to give our sort of thoughts on how the switch to online and the difference in schedule might benefit or hurt the Toronto Defiant. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm Spencer Chason,
and with me is Christopher Calls. I am Chris Calls.
Awesome. All right, let's go.
Okay, new hero. What are your thoughts? Go.
So first of all, I'm disappointed and really surprised that she is a damage dealer. Let's just get that out of the way. When I first saw the news and some people were like, I hope she's damage, I'm like, you're so fucking dumb. I was like, there's no way that this is going to be a damage dealer, right? It's a doctor. She's very clearly a support. You saw her, and when it first was released, everything about it screamed support. We only have 7 supports in the game. It's the lowest of any category. And then, sure enough, upon release, she's a damage dealer. So that was the first thing that really stood out to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to help queue times.
No, not at all.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
It's going to make it a lot worse. Even I'm going to go play damage. I never play damage. I want to go play her.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I know. There was so much talk about improving the queue times and whatnot for DPS players and the experimental cards 3-2-1. And then, obviously they come out with a really cool, seemingly overtuned damage dealer. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know if she's broken. People are already like, she's broken. We've heard that before. We've heard characters are trash, like Sigma, right? When Sigma first came out, he was terrible. Everyone was like, he's so clunky, he doesn't feel good, he's really bad, and all of a sudden he took over the meta for an entire year. So I'm going to wait to give my broken versus not broken opinion until you actually see her on the servers. But my first reaction is she seems pretty broken.
Wait, what?
Especially the one, she can fly, which I think Farah's already pretty hard to deal with, especially in the lower ranks, as being one of the only flying heroes, especially with the Mercy Pocket. Now you potentially have both of your damage dealers, just flying through the sky. I said this, I tweeted this out. I was like, when Echo is released, people are going to realize why they gave D.Va 3-second boosters. This isn't the first time they've done that, where they've tried to adjust. People are like, why 3-second boosters? They very clearly were trying to adjust her in the midst of Echo being released. Because you are like a Echo Pharah Mercy combination, I can already see just being impossible to deal with.
Oh my god!
In gold or silver, right? There's just no way. Especially since she is so powerful. And then the final thing, I actually don't think her damage is too overtuned. I really like how her beam's going to work with the doing more damage of characters under 50% health and barriers under 50% health. The ability to strategically use that to pick apart certain people or burst down shields really quickly before setting up other ultimates, I think is actually really cool. The flies in
that's really cool.
The cooldown can be adjusted to make it not too broken. It's gonna be broken at lower ranks, but I think higher ranks is gonna be fine. The main thing for me is her ultimate.
Yeah, that's crazy. Being able to change into another hero is already pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine having 2 1600 barriers, riding 2 Rhines. That is already sweet barrier action.
On point or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah. You're just just bump up that sustain.
Yeah, exactly. And he's already, Reinhardt, when he gets in, he's already really hard to deal with. You could literally fly above the enemy team and copy Reinhardt and just drop right in the middle, receive a Zarya bubble, and you're just there, right?
And then you swing a couple times and you have hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's the thing. All copy. I think alt makes her OP. I think this could be one of the best ults in the game. Attack ults, defense ults. You just copy an Ana. Then your Ana, you get freaking nano 3 times, nano 3 of your freaking.
Yeah, that's people. The crazy part. So I agree. So I think the part that really sets her over the top is how quickly you get the ultimate. It's like a guaranteed ultimate, and it's like a free life for Echo. So Echo can go in there as Reinhardt, die as the Reinhardt, and you don't die, right? You switch back to Echo, and then you just fly away. It's like you go in with Rein, you get a whole 600 HP of damage, a free Earth Shatter, and then when you do finally get taken down, you just turn back into Echo, who has essentially an escape with her ability to just fly away. Now, it's not the same as like a Moira Fade or anything like that, but it still is like you fly in the air and you get out of there. And on top of that, it's not limited to one ultimate per character. So for some that are slow, like Graviton Surge, you'll only get one. But yeah, I've seen people already get 2 nano boosts with one on a switch. Like, that's so incredibly powerful.
It is crazy. And I think the strat for pro strat, if Echo is being played, is to make sure she can't use her ult. Because if you always have a barrier in between you and Echo, then I don't know if she can use her copy ult.
That's interesting. Like being able to stun her out of it or something. Is there a cast time? I don't think there is.
No, not even that. But like, I don't know if she can pull her ult through opponents' barriers. But if she's trying to get pulling out through somebody, and you can like hold up your barrier. And I don't
even think it's that. Like I wanted if there is a cast time, there's a potential that she can be stunned out of it, which would be interesting. I think the real thing would be you wait until she does switch and almost like Bob, and then like try to land asleep and just leave it. Because any Echo created character essentially is going to get ultimate immediately. So one, you can block it. Like if she is Reinhardt, she's going to shatter because she essentially has shatter, right? It's really easy to work around. There's no ult tracking. Oh, you see an Echo mimicked character, they have ult. You just assume they have ult, so you can kind of play around it. So I wonder if it's going to be like a Bob situation where it's like, oh, there's an Echo Reinhardt, sleep, and just leave it and wait for it to run out. So maybe it won't be as broken as we think.
The thing is that as Echo, you have this mimic for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Sleep's like what, 5? That's a third of the time.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. So I think the mimic can be decreased. Like I think that's what they're gonna. Because for me, the other thing is it's a free life. It's like, oh, I'm about to die. I'm gonna ult into a Reinhardt, get an additional 600 HP or 5. I forget. Off the top of my head, I forget it's exact, but it's like 500 HP and a 1600 barrier. And then when that finally gets shot down for 15 seconds on point, then I'm going to go back to Echo, fly out, and you know what I mean. You've stalled so much time in that point in time. Like that really is, for considering how much of an issue 2CP already is, like for Snowball and whatnot. Like I don't watch this ad, but yeah. So anyways, I'm excited. I think it is a very high ceiling hero where if you're really good at her, you can dominate. I always like heroes like that for the game. I think
she has skill shot. Like she has skill shot for basically.
And it's going to be incredible seeing her in the Overwatch League. Like when you see I like that Jeff in his interview with Tim the Tatman actually specifically called out Surefour on being somebody who might be able to master this hero. So selfishly, from a Toronto Defiance perspective, like who knows? Like an Echo meta could be really good for us to have somebody like Surefour, who is so flexible in the team. Obviously, like Agilius is also a very flexible player, so it'd be really interesting to see how that works with us on a competitive standpoint. But I think she's just gonna be really fun to watch.
Yeah, so she's definitely gonna add a cool little MOBA-esque part of the game.
Yeah. Even though it's going
to
suck.
A game that's very DPS right now.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it's going to suck to play online because DPS queues are already 10 minutes, and when she's released, they're going to be like 15 or 20. So
everybody's going to like auto lock her, and it's going to be like,
Oh, absolutely. You're going to wait 15 minutes, get in a game, and the other person's going to auto lock her. Like you're going to have to. It's going to be brutal. You're going to have to 6-stack in order to just take turns playing her.
Exactly. Okay. So, but what do you think?
Also, this probably isn't mentioned at all. But I think she has the potential to have super sick skins, which is like really not that big of a deal. But I do like when characters have the potential to be like to have some really cool skins. Like when like Ashe and Baptiste got released, you start thinking about it and they're okay. I think Echo can have some really cool legendary skins.
You're right. She definitely has a lot of features that are like unique.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think she's a really cool, well designed character. Even though she's gonna ruin Silver, but that's fine.
Okay, so we're Overwatch League's moving on to the online format.
Yeah.
How do you think this and the fact that Toronto Defiant had like a couple of weeks to like kind of recoup themselves is going to affect their games?
Yeah, so first and foremost, obviously, I think the Overwatch League has to be like a big shout out for how they handle the situation. It's by no means ideal. This COVID thing has been affecting what was supposed to be a make or break year, and I honestly think was going to be a really successful year in the Overwatch League. And it's really put a damper on it, you know what I mean? Where we didn't get to see the Chinese homestand, so we were stuck with the Atlantic Division teams for the longest time. We didn't get to see the Seoul homestands, and now the Toronto homestand was canceled, so it's really disappointing. Obviously, that's out of their control. It's disappointing, but it had to be done. I just want to get that out of the way. I'm in support of that. With that being said, I think they have made the best out of a bad situation where we had essentially a week off, and they're already back with online play. By no means is online play ideal Overwatch playing situations, you know what I mean? Like, obviously there's issues with that in terms of ping and tick rate and all that sort of stuff. Everybody would prefer it to be on LAN, but that's not an option, so I think this is the next best thing. So overall, I'm in support of it. How do I think this is going to affect the Toronto Defiant? I actually think it potentially, I don't want to say it saved us, I don't want to be too drastic, but it definitely helped us. One of the issues with the Defiant that a lot of people were talking about after the slow start was almost our inability to have a mental reset because we were traveling and playing so much. We had 7 straight weeks of homestands until our next break. After we went through losing to Houston and Florida, people were like, is the team boomed? What's going on? And I don't know if they were boomed or not. I'm not on here saying that. But anytime you're in a losing situation in a competitive manner, whether it be through esports or just traditional sports or whatever, the ability to take a week off and sort of reset yourself, reset your brain, reset your mentality is really important. And when you're traveling and you're consistently playing at different homestands, it's really hard to do that. So I think the potential mental snowball that might have happened had we, one, had to travel to Washington and played Washington in a meta that suited their team and not ours and lost again, and then also had to travel the week after and play more teams, I think could have really snowballed negatively. I think the fact that, one, we get to skip, I think, a hero pool that essentially nerfed us in the nerf of Sombra and Monkey and Lucio. Those are characters that we run a lot of. I think that was really good. Just the ability to not have to main McCree Washington. I think the other good thing is the week off that we had to sort of mentally reset ourselves, get some more scrim time in, have some more practice, and then come back this week online versus the Boston Uprising and the London Spitfire. We're not going to preview those games. Yeah, next week. Next week. We're not going to preview those games this week. We're going to preview them the week after. But our ability to go out there and do that, and hopefully, knock on wood, get some wins under our belt, I think can help the team long term.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only thing I wanted to add, I think doing this online is going to make it seem, at least for the players, a lot more like scrims.
Yeah.
And when we were talking with the GM and analysts at Toronto Defiant, they said that they were doing well in scrims, middle of the pack scrims. So if there's anything that causes problems for us on stage fright, I don't know,
nerves, yeah,
being close to the other team, maybe that might be mitigated. So if there's issues regarding that, hopefully they'll get better with this online.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it just seems for the players a little more scrimmy, a little more fun, even though it's still serious.
Yeah.
And it can help us out that way.
It's going to be interesting because you initially didn't think that this was going to be a team that would struggle with that. The only player, and you might see a big improvement in Beast. I don't think Beast has been the issue with the team. Obviously, he started out well, and I think he's had a couple rough performances as of late. And maybe that is because it is his first Overwatch League performance, right? And when, again, the whole mental snowball could come into play. And I think you're right. Being in the comfort of your own, or not your own home, but whatever the practice facility, wherever they're playing out of, might help him as well as Nevix. I think, again, Nevix is so experienced. I don't think he has an issue on stage, but he hasn't played in a year. So these are players who maybe you're right, are struggling more with the being on LAN as opposed to the online scrims. So it'll be really interesting to see how we perform. Although the same can be said for a team like Boston, so who knows?
Who knows? You're darn right about that.
Yeah. But overall, I think it's a good thing for us. I think it's a benefit. Yeah. We can reset. And again, if we get that first win on Boston, the same way it could positive snowball. Get a good win on Boston. Get your confidence back. You know what I mean? Get the juices flowing. Take out London. You're 2-0.
Hey.
Like, one thing I do want to say is we've been really salty on this team. I do think a bit of it is overdrawn because like it almost seems like we've lost 3 games in a row, but we really haven't. I think we've only lost 2 games that we should have won. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. Like, yeah, we got crushed by Atlanta, and that is not encouraging to see. But we were going to lose that game. I think most of us thought we were going to lose that game anyways. We can bounce back from 2 unseen losses, especially since we beat Paris, who we debatably, looking now, shouldn't have beat.
Do want to mention that this next week of games, like I know we said the last one was make or break, but these next 2 are actually make or break. If we can't beat Boston, London, like
if we go 0-2, if we go 0-2, we might actually need to see. Like I know the Montreal Rebellion, which maybe we should talk about. We haven't really covered the contenders team enough, and I think that as part of the Toronto Defiant podcast, we should. So a little quick, Montreal Rebellion, they signed 2 players. So obviously they started out really rough in contenders, and then they let Tanner and Shane go, and they picked up Numlock, who used to play for the LA Valiant 2 years ago, I believe, in season 1, and then they picked up Shockwave, who's this 19-year-old DPS player. So that's just a little Montreal Rebellion news. They went 3-1. They won 3-1 back-to-back games. They're going to be contenders. I think it's this week, the one coming up, which I'm going to be keeping track of that. Hopefully we win those. But anyways, back to the Toronto Defiant. If we go 0-2 this week, you might start to see some call-ups. Like, I don't want to be the first one to panic too early, but you're right. If we start the season like 1-6 and you've essentially lost to Houston, Boston, London, Florida,
all the trash teams.
Like you're looking at you're looking at like the 4 potential worst teams in the league outside of yourself, and you can't beat any of them. Like, and I don't want to changes have to be made. I think at that point, or at the very least, heavily considered. Now you go out there and you win both these games, we're having a totally different conversation, and I think we will.
Yeah,
I actually think we will.
I think we will too.
I'm not that cynical, but we'll get into that another episode. But I agree with you that they're make or break. And the final thing about this online play that I did want to bring up is, depending on how long it lasts, we are in easily the easiest division. So that helps us too, right? So instead of having to go online and play against Shanghai Dragon or Vancouver Titans or the San Francisco Shock, right? We're having a lot of games against the Florida Mayhem, the Houston Outlaws, the Boston Uprising. Like, this could have turned what would have been a disappointing Toronto Defiant season, where if we can figure things out, who knows? You know, I think we're better than most of those teams. We could end up after this having a really good record because we spent the entire time playing London, Florida, Houston, and Boston. Now you got Philly and Atlanta there as well. And teams like Dallas, for instance, have to play Shock, Gladiators, Valiant, and the Titans.
Have fun this week.
Yeah, like if you're Chengdu and your next 3 weeks are Guangzhou Charge 3 times, Shanghai Dragons 3 times, and Hangzhou Spark 3 times, like that sucks. They might not win the game.
Do about it.
Yeah. Okay. Changing nothing about it. Okay. Let's. On that note, it was nice seeing you guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
as always.
Bye. See you later.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. So that's my opinion on the Toronto Defiant. Anything else you want to add?
Nah. You hit the nail on the head there.
Nail on the head, as always. All right. So anything else you want to talk about? Again, guys, a little bit of a scuffed episode. Again, not a whole lot going on. Should be an interesting week online. Seoul finally plays. San Francisco Shock finally play. Make sure to check that out. I can't wait to see Shock versus Seoul. That's going to be fun. And then, we should be back next week with a more standard episode where we break down the matches between the London Spitfire and the Boston Uprising. And maybe we have more Echo news. I doubt it, but hopefully she's live at some point. And we'll check that out. So with that,
stay safe, guys.
Yeah, with that out of the way, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. As always, enjoy, and we will see you guys next time.